It's good, YouTube. You know who it is. It's your boy Neon Diamond 101 back again, talking about Degrassi, my top five favorite characters. Obviously, I'm really excited about talking about Degrassi. Next class, season 3 comes out next Friday. I'll be talking about that, so I'm really looking forward to it. Just a little video before then. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. If you've watched my videos before, you may have noticed that I've removed all of my Degrassi videos. And reason being is because obviously I love talking with you guys, love interacting with people, and I'm not someone who's on YouTube or trying to get famous and all that stuff. But looking back at my videos, and majority of them are on my crappy webcam, which I still have, by the way. Um, but I really wanted to like just take time to reflect, and I realized, as much as I enjoy putting out content, like I wasn't really proud of just posting like the same old crappy webcam videos and stuff like that. And like I said, I'm not here to be professional, but I'm just looking to have fun, like as always. So nothing's really going to change except for the format's going to change. I'm just going to do straight audio recording and then add some visuals, and also maybe add some video here and there. Obviously there's copyright, but I'll obviously edit it with lighting and stuff like that to get past it. But anyways, I just want to make my channel, my content more better and more enjoyable. And obviously, I had no issue with recording straight webcam, crappy webcam. But I look back and I'm like, for someone new to come to my channel, or like I just want to be better. And I've been on YouTube for a while, just a normal dude, just making videos, having fun. Anyways, let's get into this. This is my top five Degrassi characters. Now, when I say favorite is obviously, subjective to everyone. And so here are mine, and it's been a while since I've watched like old school Degrassi, like way back, so I really had to like think about it. I mean, I wasn't gonna sit there and like watch hours upon hours of Degrassi and like analyze this, but I did the best I could. And just to let you guys know, I enjoy most characters. Like Degrassi is like one of those stories. It's not like one of those like One Tree Hills or like Gossip Girl, where it's like centered around like six or seven characters. Like Degrassi is all about the school, the kids, and obviously there's new kids coming and going. So I enjoy Degrassi characters, some more than others. But let me just start it off with, and these are in no particular order, by the way. But I'll just number them down anyways. Number five, Emma. Now, when you think of Degrassi, you usually think of like Emma, Liberty, JT. Now, I will be the first to say yes, Emma has had her annoying times, but when you look at her beginning and her end of Degrassi, there's just so much growth in her. I mean, we have her eating disorder, we have her relationships with Sean, and her with just trying to figure herself out. And she's very stubborn, and especially the young Emma, which really annoyed me. But as she grew, like we got to see more of her evolve, and obviously, with her dad cheating on her mom and stuff like that. And Emma's been through so much, and I think why I say she's my favorite is because she's one of the most well-rounded characters on Degrassi. And obviously, when you think of Degrassi, it's like, oh, Emma, JT, Liberty, Toby, and like she's like an OG, and I really enjoyed her. She wasn't like my like, oh yeah, I love Emma. Like I didn't love Emma, but I enjoyed watching her evolution. So this is what I said before. Like when I'm saying favorites, like everyone is a favorite for their own different reason. Some are for like their growth. Some because I just enjoyed watching them on the screen. And also by favorites, I mean favorites for me. Um, Maybe they were really fun to watch, and maybe they weren't necessarily good. And obviously there'll be some characters that are like that. Now this one, number four. Again, these are in no particular order, but I'm just gonna number them down anyways. Um, Number four. This is a hard one. I was gonna say Spinner, but I gotta pick Jane. I gotta pick Jane because Jane. I don't know. Here's the thing. Spinner is I enjoy Spinner, but there's some stuff I'm just like, could I say he's a favorite? Because after him and Jimmy made up, and he got cancer, and I actually really enjoyed him, and actually Spinner Rookie at the dot. But when Spinner was a bully, I'm like, I mean, I know he kind of turned over a new leaf and stuff like that, but I think I gotta say Jane. Now, Jane, out of everyone on my list, I believe she had the least amount of screen time. But Jane, there's in my opinion, there was no female character like Jane. Like she was just such a badass and like really just such an interesting character. I just really enjoyed, especially the football team aspect. Like I just love how she just like persistent about it, and she didn't try to make it weird. She's like, hey, I love football. Yes, I'm a girl, but I want to play. I want to prove myself. And she was never, I guess, she was never like an SJW. Like she was never like trying to like put in an agenda. Like she was just like, hey, I am who I am. I am a female, but I'm passionate about this or that, and I just really enjoyed Jane, and also like her dark style too. She's just a warm character, and on the surface you might think she's like a goth or like very dark, but she was actually really awesome. I really enjoyed Jane, and like I said, there aren't really any female characters like Jane, and so I really enjoyed Jane. Um, also about Jane, um, I know Jane kind of took a turn for the worse after she cheated on Spinner, which I'll be honest, I like them together, but seeing Jane so vulnerable and just like with Declan, and by the way, I was tempted to add Declan to the list, but he's another honorable mention. I like Declan, just like his manipulative ways, and I have another character who's more manipulative that I'll get back to in a second. But the fact that Jane, things with her and Spinner were great, and she cheated, it was just so random, but it was well done because here we have two completely opposite people, and Jane was just like so drawn to Declan, and I just like I didn't I don't know. I don't want to say I disliked it. I enjoyed it in a weird way because it was like wow, like partly because I like Declan's like manipulative like smoothness, but also because Jane was just like it was like something we didn't expect from Jane. Like up until that point, Jane was loyal, she was straightforward, and for her to like fall for Declan kind of made sense because it was like it wasn't something she would do. So it's like okay, Jane is gonna fuck up, and obviously, I actually really thought that she's gonna get back with Spinner because obviously Degrassi usually. When someone cheats or messes up, usually they get back together in some form or fashion, but now the Spinner was like, nope. But number three is Casey Guthrie. Now I know Casey had a crappy end to Degrassi, um, but I don't know, there's just something, and I know he's not like the most entertaining or compelling character on Degrassi, but there's just something about Casey. I'm not sure if it's like Sam Earl, the actor who plays him, like the way he portrayed Casey, just like a cool like dude, like he was part of the gang with Claire and Jenna and Connor and Dave. But there's just something about Casey. Maybe it's like personal for me. And like I said, these favorites are all for different reasons. I kind of like related to Casey in some way. He's kind of like an outcast in a way, and we obviously find out that he lives in a group home. I mean, I've never lived in a group home before, but there's just something about Casey, like the rebellion, and I don't know. There's just something about Casey that I really enjoyed, and he was never really over dramatic. He was just like he's just like a cool dude. For some reason, I just really enjoyed Casey. Like honestly, for me, like looking back at Degrassi characters, I really enjoyed watching Casey. Maybe you won't feel the same way. Maybe it's just me personally. I felt like I had like some relatability to him, but I really enjoyed Casey. Now this one is very controversial. Well, the next two are. And number two is Peter Stone. Yes, Peter Stone, one of my favorite characters. He's going to be number one. I mean, like I said, these really weren't ranked, but I guess you could say the top two are kind of ranked because, I mean, I literally enjoy watching these characters. Even though Peter is a bad... Well, Peter was a bad character. I mean, with what he did with Darcy in the webcam and obviously with Manny in the pictures and him being the principal's son is kind of like it's kind of like his expectations were like, oh yeah, he's the principal's son and he's supposed to be this good kid, and he was manipulative, and obviously him and Emma got together, and Peter, honestly, I'll be honest, Peter wasn't a good character for a long time, but him always being sneaky and lying was just so entertaining because like he was just like very interesting. Now he wasn't like, I don't know, I don't want to say he was like someone like Jay. Like he wasn't. I couldn't stand Jay, but I mean the reason I like Peter is just because I found him to be very interesting and very sneaky, and on screen it was very fun to watch. But not only that is because he had a really big turnaround, and I think it started around season 7 with Darcy getting raped, and obviously before that him really falling for Darcy, not just getting a piece of ass here. But I think it really started with her getting raped and him being there for her, and obviously she kissed Johnny DeMarco and she was doing all these things. But I think Peter's turnaround really came with Darcy, and I think when Darcy left, he was just kind of like okay, and then he had a thing with Mia. And she also did some shady things with like her model career, and like she's like slept with like the the casting guy or something. I don't know, but Peter's kind of been known to like have a thing with girls, and it was always interesting to watch because it was like where is this kind of going? Like before, in the beginning, Peter was just like all over the place, and so like when he matured, it was kind of like good to see. Especially with him in the band with Sav and Spinner, I really enjoyed that. And obviously he had some stuff with drugs, but after that, so kind of like Emma, I think you know one of the more well-rounded characters. Not only like character growth, but like overall like his arc. And although this might change because Peter is still on, and I'm not sure what they're trying to do with him and Miss Matlin. But I mean, I don't really know what they're gonna do with that, him and Maya. But hopefully nothing happens because I mean, if so, then I might have to drop you, Peter. Because I mean, I don't know. People were saying like if she's like 16, I don't know. Like I guess, look, I'm in the United States. Uh, in some states, 16 is consent, but I'm not trying to go down that road. Like, seriously, leave Peter alone. If Maya wants to have a crush on him, that's fine, but come on, Peter has matured so much. I don't want him to go back to the dark side. Please, Luke, I am your father. No, no, we don't need Peter to go to the dark side. Please. But yeah, I just feel like Peter, as manipulative and sneaky as he was, which for me personally, I enjoyed watching on screen because I thought who is this guy? Like he's just like such like a not like a douchebag, but like he was just like such a jerk and like so methodical, but like he thought he was a man, but girls thought he was cute, but I mean I really enjoyed his transformation, and so that's why I have to have Peter. And the next character, who honestly I didn't really think would be on this list, but when I really think about it, like whenever I saw this character, most of the times I would have like a smile or I would laugh. And it's kind of the reasons why I chose Peter. And number one, I honestly didn't think I'd put this person on. Honestly, I don't know. Like, I'm not embarrassed, but like at first glance, I had like a list. I'm like, okay, here are my favorite characters. And then like I look back, I'm like, wait a minute. Here's a character who really entertained me. And from an entertainment value, number one is Drew Torres. Yes, Drew Torres. I know lots of people hate him. My good pal Steve Trowbridge hates him. A lot of people hate Drew. And I don't blame you because Drew is, for most of Degrassi, and even like his end of Degrassi was kind of like a hot mess. Like, he has been through so much, and I think why I enjoyed Drew because I enjoyed so many of his arcs. Like he had the arc where, I mean, he had the arc where he comes in, he's the cute guy, him and Allie, everything that happens with that. Then him and Bianca in the boiler room, and then obviously him going through. I believe he had concussions because he was doing football, and his doctor told him to take it easy or whatever. And then there's an arc where he was probably one of my favorite ones where I believe Vince, which is Tiny's brother, ironically, Vince, Bell, and some other gang members like they like beat Drew's ass, and then Drew takes like some Taekwondo or martial arts classes, and it's just so funny because like it was like where did that come from? So like Drew learns martial arts, is like the Karate Kid, like I don't know, I don't know, like it was just interesting for me. And then obviously, when Vince comes to the prom and Drew does the I don't literally that's one of like the funniest moments. Like they do the they do the close up on the camera and like Vince has the gun and then Drew does like a back heel kick or whatever. And it's just so funny because I'm just like, what is going on? Like, who comes to the prom with a gun, like a gang member, and then Drew like knows karate and like kicks his ass? It's just like so funny. But and obviously Drew with Bianca. I mean, take it for whatever you want that relationship. But I really enjoy the dynamic between Drew and Adam. Now I was gonna add Adam to this. I mean this is really hard by the way. Like I said, I enjoy a lot of characters. There could have been so many characters that I could have put in this top five. And Adam Torres is also one of them. I felt like he's also a very compelling character. He's an also honorable mention. I enjoy Adam a lot, and so I enjoy like the fact that the dynamic between Drew and Adam because they're very different characters, but Drew cares so much for his brother and he's very protective. And although Drew messed up a lot of times, when we look back, like it came from a genuine place most of the time, sometimes, but and obviously, every time his manipulative side, kind of like why I like Peter, is because he was fun to watch on screen. With him and Katie Matlin, it was such a hot mess when she comes over and she's like all vulnerable and yeah, you can see on Drew's face. He's like, I shouldn't sleep with her, but I want to fuck her because she looks so hot right now. And I just, it's like, come on, Drew. Like you've been, and for me personally, Drew has made the same mistake like literally 3, 4, 5 times on this arc of Degrassi, and it's like, Drew, are you ever gonna learn? And I just really enjoyed Drew's character because it was just so funny. Like, Drew, what are you doing? Like, seriously, Drew, get it together. And honestly, with him, he's had so many girls, so many arcs, and like I said, I find him very entertaining because with him and Claire, then him and Becky, and like it's just I lose count of how many relationships he's had, but every single time it doesn't end well. And I just think like watching on screen, it was just so funny to see like the train wreck because Drew, nothing ever went his way, and partly because of him, well, mostly because of him. I also like how he tried to change because although he made the same mistakes, we see him go from like the jock to like student council and try to be a better person. And usually when someone says they want to become a better person, things go well and then they go horribly wrong. So like him getting Claire pregnant, even though it wasn't his, and he's still trying to be a better person. And to be fair, Claire treated him like crap, and I wasn't happy about that. I was on Drew's side, and I think a majority of Degrassi I've been on Drew's side because I can kind of relate to my old high school self, like sophomore year, not now. I mean, sophomore year was a long time ago, high school. I'm not a teenager, by the way, if you're wondering. But I think part of me, like, related to Drew, like, messing up with girls, although I was never on that scale of him with all these women and just messing up constantly. But I think, honestly, Drew was very endearing as well. He had some endearing qualities. Um, let's be honest. Drew was a good guy who messed up a lot of times and made a whole bunch of mistakes. But if you look at it, unlike Peter in the beginning, Peter was a bad, manipulative person. But Drew, on the other hand, wasn't. And we also like Zoe. I forgot he hooked up with Zoe when he was doing something for Frankie's dad or something. Mr. Hollingsworth. He was on some campaign and he hooked up with Zoe. And I actually thought Zoe's gonna be like, no, I didn't consent or whatever because that would have been very bad. But anyways, um, those are my top five. Yes, Drew Torres. I thought he was very entertaining. Like I said, I really enjoyed Adam. Another honorable mention is Zig. In the beginning, Zig was really not shown a lot, and that goes part to the writers with their weird style. And I thought they were gonna phase Zig out like they phased like Wesley and Casey and other characters. But I'm really happy that they brought Zig back because there was a while where we saw Zig literally like not a lot, and I was like, okay, like what's going on? But I really enjoy Zig looking back, and obviously him cheating on Tori with Maya and this whole thing. I mean, Zig, he's kind of like in that family with Peter and Drew, where they more so Drew, where he's a kind of a good guy, but he just messes up. And also another honorable mention, I really enjoyed Riley. I think he was a very interesting character. Um, Too bad his storyline phased out. I felt like he was probably one of my favorite gay characters on Degrassi. I just really enjoyed him because he wasn't like the stereotypical gay. And even there was a time where I didn't know he was gay, so that was kind of cool to see. Like, wow, like because like when he went on a date with Anya and like he kissed her, is kind of awkward. So I was like, kind of wondering like, does he like someone else or is he gay? And that was kind of like cool to see. And also him kissing Peter, which is awkward. But I think the thing with I like about Riley a lot is he was so in denial, and that was cool to see because like he was so in denial. And I remember the one time he like the Ram dude like kissed him in the woods and stuff like that. But he's so in denial, but he's living two lives, and I really enjoy that because it's like I feel like it was realistic. I mean, I'm not a gay person, but I felt like it portrayed a realistic side that we don't really see on TV. Like most gays, kind of like Tristan or whoever, like they're already out and about and proud, which is great. But then there's the other side where like you're not really sure and you're trying to hide that because you're like your family, like Riley's mom, like hey, I want kids, I want grandkids, and Riley was kind of like not really, but I mean it's kind of like Riley wanted to, but he knew he couldn't deep down. So that I thought that was very interesting. Anyways, this is going on for too long. Thank you all so much for watching. These are my 5 favorites and also honorable mentions. There are probably a few others that I missed. Well, a whole bunch of others that, like I said, there are a whole bunch of characters on Degrassi I enjoy. This top 5 was hard. Like I said, nothing concrete, just something fun. But for the most part, these 5 were memorable to me, and I really enjoyed watching them on screen. And so, yeah, let me know who your top 5 are, or top 10, or whoever. Let's talk about this. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this new format, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.